Okay.
Hi, everybody. It is Judy Jam time. And this is where members of the Message of You get together. We review homework. We get some tips. We check in, see what we're working at, because it's horrible to do things alone. So it's April 4th. And Annabelle here. Hi, Annabelle.
Hi, Judy.
And we has given me some of her homework, and it looks like she's putting together what her message is. All right, so this is a message, it looks like, for women, right?
Yes.
All right, so why don't you, can you read can you see this okay?
Yep, I can see it well, Judy.
Okay, thanks. Okay, there we go. All right, go to it, girl.
We women all grow up with an idea of what we want our life to look like. The person we will marry and fall in love with, the job we will have so we can have power in the world, the family we will raise, the perfect house without cottage cheese ceilings. But life happens, and our dream partner ends up breaking up the relationship. The job doesn't give us enough money. We are struggling to pay bills just to stay afloat. I'm Annabelle, and I'm going to speak on getting past obstacles. I went from class clown to successful writer and stand-up comedian. I'm going to show women how they can feel good about being themselves no matter where they are in their journey by finding their strengths, challenging old narratives, and clarifying their purpose. And I'm going to do this in a 60-minute keynote with a lot of humor, inspiring stories, as well as changing techniques to boost your self-confidence and strengthen your sense of purpose for life.
Oh, wow. Very dynamic. Very dynamic. I'd like to work on it a little bit, give you some feedback. Let's talk about this section right here, okay? And let's just talk about, let's say you got the booking, okay? You got the booking, all right? You're gonna do your speech, okay?
Okay.
Now, let's go, so let's just talk about each one of these, all right?
Yes.
Now, because that's a lot to do in 60 minutes. How are you going to help people find their strengths? Talk to me about that.
What we're going to do, what we can do is talk to one another, talk to a partner about 3 things you think are personal strengths of yours.
Okay. Now, I don't have any. I don't know what my strengths are. What does it mean, a strength? What is a strength? So let's just say I don't know what my strength is. And how does finding strength, what problem is that going to help you with?
Well, once you start zoning in, once you start focusing in on what your strengths are, because we tend to focus on our weaknesses.
Okay, stop. Okay. Excellent. Okay. Really good. So what the problem is that people feel, women focus on weaknesses, right? Where is that? Now this is the problem, right?
Yes.
Okay, so here's how this works. The problem and the solution need to, in other words, here's the problem and here's the solution. So so where does it say here that women focus on their weaknesses?
No, it doesn't say that yet.
Okay, so we need to add it, right? Okay. So I'll make a little note here. So add the problem of the world, of the focus on weakness. Now, what does it mean to focus on weakness?
It's that we're so consumed with what we don't have, what we are not. We live in the negative so much, thinking of how can we strengthen a weakness when we should be focusing on building a strength.
Okay, but don't you, if I focus on a weakness, boy, do I have really weak stomach muscles. Um, wouldn't I focus on that to get myself strong? Don't I need to focus on the weakness to turn it around?
Yes, but a physical weakness like weak stomach muscles is different from a character weakness because a
What is an
character,
example of a character weakness?
okay, a character weakness would be if you said, I'm lazy. Um, I'm always lazy. I never try hard enough. I never do enough. And then if you think, okay, maybe you procrastinate, but how can you turn that around? What's something you like that would bring out your strength? Like if you like, okay.
No, keep going. I'm sorry. I'm just
Oh
wondering.
no, no.
Good.
So if you like getting up at 9 o'clock, then you can build in your program that, okay, I'm not getting up at 5 o'clock like all the rich billionaires in the world, but I'm getting up at 9 o'clock and I am getting things done. So that we don't always look at, well, well, Mark Zuckerberg gets up at 4 a.m. in the morning and he does, 10 things by 9 a.m. What do you do? What is the strength that you can focus in on in your character that builds that?
Okay. Let's just say, let me just talk to you for a second. So let's just say I'm focusing on building strength. What do I get? What do I get from that?
Well, if you take the focus off of weaknesses and you build on something that you already are good at, then what you do is you strengthen something that you can become known for. You strengthen something that that you can give willingly, that you can give from your soul, because it's something that's a strength.
Goal is we can develop something we become known for, right?
Yes. Okay.
Okay, we develop. Okay, what does that look like when that happens? What am I going to get?
Mm-hmm. Well, once you develop something that you can be known for, then you can start finding your focus. What is your focus? Are you a giver? Are you a speaker? Are you helping with the environment?
Okay, hold it just 1 second. So I get focused. Then what do I get?
Once you get focused, then you can get purpose. Because once you have focus, then you can build something in your life that's sort of bigger than you. Because once you have focus.
Building something bigger than you. All right. So here's what I feel. Like I feel like it needs to get more specific. Everything needs to get more specific, because you're saying I'm going to get past obstacles, but it's not telling me where I'm going to end up, which is the basic thing of your talk. I'm feeling that, have we done our 30-minute thing yet?
No, not yet.
I'd like to do with you sooner than later.
Okay.
Because I want to delve more into your own life, and really hear what you've overcome, because I went from class clown to stand-up comic isn't much of a journey.
Okay.
Do you know what I'm saying? It doesn't tell me anything. I was goofing around, now I make a living goofing around. It doesn't tell me much about you. I need to know a bit more about you to really put this all together. Every component of the message of you is like it, and this is the right length for it, and you have some, I like, the problem. I love the joke you have in here, cottage cheese ceilings. It's wonderful. It's like ends with a punch. Super funny. But it's unclear what your promise is. And I don't think I can get into it without really like you and I having a conversation where we find like where I really get to the turning point in your life. You know, I really wanted to find out a little more about you and where you came from and what you're all about. And so here's what I would do. I would start right here, and I would go insert credentials. Okay.
Yeah.
Because we're missing them.
Yeah,
so
that's fine.
What do you do for a living now?
Well, I'm a business English trainer and a stand-up comedian.
That's fine, but I need to know where you're performing. I need to know, you know, what you've done with that. I need to know, and do you notice how quickly you jump like, but I also do this, because you didn't even mention the business part. A business, what did you say? A business?
English trainer, a business English trainer in Germany.
Ah. And what does that mean? What do you do there?
I teach business skills, business writing skills, business English skills for people who want to be able to communicate with their partners in other parts of the world.
Oh my God. There would be such a market for that speech.
What? I missed it. What?
That's what you just said. Say it again. Tell me again.
I trained German business people to be able to communicate with other people throughout the world in English.
But communicate, business communication, international. There is an international language. Here's how I would do your pitch. Okay. And then once you start, doing it, then you can do your women's thing. But the women's thing is soft.
Okay.
What I would go is you're in the middle of a big business discussion and you say something and all of a sudden you've lost the deal. And you don't know why you lost it, but you can see, the person you're talking to, they might still be there, but they've left the room. And the reason is because there's certain words, there's certain language that ends any kind of business relationship. And people are having business communication and don't understand that they've turned the other person off. They don't understand why people are not returning their emails. It is because there are certain standards of business communication that anyone who's successful in business needs to know. In this keynote, I am going to show you the 5 mistakes that people make in communicating in business. The that, okay? And I am going to, I'm also going to show you how to raise money, how to speak in a compelling way to get people to open their wallets, whether they're your clients, your customers, or venture capitalists. Okay. I mean, because there's a certain way Germans have of doing business that's such a turnoff. You know what I mean? And maybe another one of your point is you don't know how to do small talk. Right?
Small talk helps.
Yes, and this would have an audience because it's something you're already doing. So we always, when we start speaking professionally, have to bounce off of our current credentials. Now, most people will go, well, what I do is boring, Judy. It's just not interesting. It's like, but here's what you do. you make it interesting. And in the middle of it, you put an emotional story, you put your whole story in about stand-up, you do it with humor, you know, you get people laughing. All of a sudden you're invited to speak all these different places. Then you morph your speech into what, then you can do your women's thing. But right now, I just don't see women rushing to go see this speech because it's murky of what it's promising me. Like, I will go hear someone speak if they go like how to get 10,000 more Twitter followers. You know what I mean? How to truly engage, how to use social media in your life without stopping your life, right? You know, things like I don't know how to do. So what I would do is to change it. How do you feel about what I've said? And I am recording this because, and I hope I'm recording. Let me just, so you can listen to this and write down what I said, you know. Okay.
Oh, great. Thank you. Yeah, I've been trying to follow along. I think this is great, Judy. And I think this is exactly what I need, because I am sort of trying to find out what is that. I heard you talking, I don't know if it was to Ed or to John, I think it was to Ed, talking about, you know, that idea that you need something concrete that really speaks to people, and it's like 5 things you can do today.
And then that becomes a book, and it becomes so much more. It can become a TED Talk of this, but it's always like, it always bounces off your credentials, no matter how boring you think your credentials are. We can finesse them to to do what they need to do. But I just think this starts with this. And so that's why in the Message of You, when we work on the Message of You formula, I have everybody start with what is your credentials? And everybody's so resistant because everybody hates their job. But they don't realize that it's a gold mine, and it's something you do every day, so you don't think it's at all special, and nobody would want that because I hate my job. It's really boring and blah, 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 blah. But it's your starting point. It has to be. There's no other way. Because,
you're right.
Yeah. But this would really sell, because then you could pitch this to your boss. And Kate, I like to do a 30-minute presentation. Now you got a videotape, and now you got video on yourself. Then you put it on the internet. Then you send it up to other people, and now it's like, well, I'm getting paid for it now. You know, so this is what you do. And also, I think because you're an African American woman, I think one of your points needs to be that that your audience is an international audience who's diverse and many different cultures. And I know as an African American woman, you can tell a story there about like someone saying something incredibly stupid to you. And
always
always, and it'll be so funny. And then you put in your stand-up routine about how people like think they're like showing you, no, I don't discriminate. And then they say something so friggin' stupid to you, and then you got your humor there, but you can always segue into your stand-up in even a business speech, but the core of it needs to be based on your credentials. Okay,
thanks, Judy.
Yeah, my pleasure. Okie doke. So I think Ed Newman, why are you just sitting there? I want to, when we're done here, I want to see you typing on some ideas, writing your Spokane TED Talk. Where you righty? Come on, Ed. Come on. Let's see fingers move.
I'm listening, so I will start working then.
Right now. Let's use this time. I'm watching you, Ed. Ed, you make me laugh. Okay. More lipstick. Now, Victoria. Hi, Victoria.
Hi.
I'm glad there's not a lot of people here so we can get to stuff. This is where we have our international crowd. Victoria, I want you to meet Annabelle.
I know Annabelle. We're partners.
Oh, good. My European influence. Anyway, nice to see you. Where are you? Where are you right now?
I sent you my homework.
I know. I have your homework.
Yeah, and I used all your comments. And
Oh, that's wonderful. Let's just see what we have
I
here.
want to know what you suggest now.
All right. So, is this your speech?
Yes.
Okay. All righty. All right. So the first thing we want in the speech. Now, did you watch the video?
Yes.
How to write a speech.
Oh, how to write a speech?
Yeah. So let me just get to this because I wanna show you and just make sure you are aware of it. Because I'm going to be using some wordage from this. And let me just log in, blah, 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 blah. Okie dokie. All righty. Here we go. And I think this will be helpful for everybody. So writing a speech is module 2. I shall click on it. And writing a speech using improv. So first off, let's see if we can download this PDF. Save link as. All right, I'm going to save this link in my downloads folder, and now I'm going to open it. Okay. All right, and there it is. Okay. So here's the speech writing formula. So let's just, and that's how you do it. And that entire, this video takes you through, you know, opening strong. And
that's how I started.
Well, that's
actually
excellent. So let's just look at it. Okay. So tell me, so here's what I've had in here, which is I think an interesting way to write a speech is that you are actually writing it in reaction to what the audience is thinking. So then it becomes a conversation. So I'm going to ask you each one of these. Not each, we don't have a lot of time for an hour speech right now, but each one, I just want to say, and then we'll look at your document. Victoria, tell me in a nutshell what you are speaking about. And this is 1 to 2 minutes, and it's a problem and a solution. So there's a problem and the solution you're going to offer. Okay, so go to it.
I'm speaking about Holocaust and about
what is the problem that your audience is dealing with?
Anti-Semitism, and people are forgetting that Holocaust exists, and they have no respect for people who died during World War II, during Holocaust.
Right. Okay, good. And that's really good. So, you know, and that's why is that a problem?
There is a problem because kids now deny that Holocaust exists. Nobody is teaching them about the Holocaust, and they're saluting Hitler.
Right, but why is that a problem?
Because it's not funny to make fun of it.
Right, it's not, but why is it a problem?
And it's important to remember so history does not repeat itself.
Perfect, that's it. Okay, great. Okay, well said. Well said. So, you know, you might want to start your speech. Anybody else looking at the news and horrified that that there is so much more of that hate crimes among, especially anti-Semitism, has increased over, I don't know, X amount %, right? It's increased over that %. In Newport Beach, you know, they did Heil Hitler salutes, and the scary part about it is they didn't think there was anything wrong about videotaping it and sharing it with their friends on the internet. And the scary part about it is that if, you know, that once this sort of hate is accepted, that history will repeat itself. And I'm here to talk about what? I'm here, what's the solution? I'm here to what?
I'm here to talk about it, to educate it, and to inspire you to educate your kids, educate your students, educate your family.
Yes.
Everybody.
And I do this, and I'm committed to doing this because because my mother escaped, is a Holocaust survivor. And it has become my mission to make sure, to tell her story, to make sure that nobody ever forgets. All right, so now again, certainly subscribe to the YouTube channel where I will put this up within a few days and you'll get a notice, and then you can come to this portion of the Judy Jam and write that down, because now that's your core promise. It's like there's a problem, and just saying some facts like these kids did this, or Jewish cemeteries in France are being desecrated, or that in even in Germany there's a rise of the neo-Nazi party. Whatever you put in there, it's not enough. You have to, doesn't become a problem until you really take the episodes in life that are happening and what are the consequences, because it will happen again. And it's a duty to every single person to educate and not take a stand against hate crimes, racism, anti-Semitism. Okay. And I do this because, and that's what I'm going to tell you today. A story, that will inspire you, and I hope you share. Okay? And I go, whoa, I'm ready. What's the story? I'm enrolled. Okay? So let's just see then what we have written here. Okay. Oh, that's not you. Just give me a second. New share. Victoria. Okay. Anyone aware of kids having parties saluting to Hitler and shooting Jews in synagogues? Well, yes, we all are. A few days ago, I was watching the news and I saw a story given said the video went viral. I cannot help but wonder how kids think it was cool, funny, Nazi. Have they forgotten what happened before? Either way, I found myself shuddering at the thought of this dark period could so be forgotten. The thought of people forgetting the past drove me to write this book about my mother. Okay, now you go into your story, but you haven't really done a core promise. Okay. So I'm going to put here, your job is core promise, which is the problem / your solution. Okay, and that is, and I'll just put that here, transcribe from the video. Okay. Mm-hmm. Okay, because again, I understand, Victoria, and I totally respect your burning desire to tell your mother's story, but we have to set that up. In other words, we have to say, and now I think if you transcribe what I said, that is a setup because you really have one, action plan, and that action plan is never forget. That's your action plan, to tell the story, to repeat the story. Do you know what I mean? Mm-hmm. That's your purpose in life. But I think we need to say that before you go into your story. Okay? Okay. So then the next step is, let's just look here a second. The next step in the story is, okay. Oh, so we have really quick. And then the next part is, why should I listen to you? Well, what is the audience's problem in this? You
The
want to
problem that they're okay with their kids having a party and saluting Hitler and posting it on the...
No, but that's not the audience in front of you. Are you doing it in Newport Beach specifically for the parents? I'd be a little insulted if you accused me of thinking that was okay.
All right. Okay.
So what is the audience's problem?
There's a problem that they start believing that Holocaust never existed.
I know we have that, but what is, no. The audience in front of you, if you're doing for the Jewish Federation.
Oh, the audience, a problem, I feel uncomfortable.
No, I think the audience's problem is that they don't know what to do about it.
They don't know what to do about it, yes.
And so what is the problem? What are the consequences when you don't know what to do about it?
You just look the other way.
No, I don't look the other way. A problem is that you feel powerless.
Powerless.
And feeling powerless can lead to depression, can lead to, I'm just going to shut off the news, can lead to turning a blind eye. And then you become a part of the problem. Even though you're a caring person, it's just too much. Okay? So the problem is that that people feel powerless. Okay? So then you say, well, but you haven't told your story yet. You haven't even mentioned, maybe you mentioned your mother, but you don't, and then you go, tell me again what you're talking about. So that's why today, I'm going to give you exact things that you can do to make a difference.
Okay.
All right? And you repeated the core promise. All right?
So exact things will be educate?
Well, I don't know. We don't say it right now.
Okay.
Okay. And now we need a credibility story. The credibility story is about somebody who, maybe a story about, about someone who you told your mother's story to, because we're still teasing about the story. We haven't told the story yet. It's all a big tease, right? Mm-hmm. So next thing you go, I'm going to tell you something, about someone, and I told my story to them about my mother, and they started to tell other people, and then, something good happened, right? Okay? Right? Something good happened. Okay. And then around here, you'll start to tell your story. Okay, does that make sense? Do you have a story about not your mother, but another story about someone you told or was in the audience when you spoke and told your story and it changed things?
The story, I have a story. I wanted to start a blog, and I post a job on Upwork. Mm-hmm. And the girl from Philippines, she wanted to do that, and she did. And then after she did that, she said, "Thank you so much for this opportunity. I learned so much about Holocaust."
Right. Well, you might want to finish the story to ask her, what did she do with what she learned?
Oh, okay.
What did she do? Like, it needs an outcome. So the story's not finished yet. I learned a lot is good. But I need a more compelling, ending to that story of action that she took that helped other people become more aware. Okay? And then you talk about the ripple effect of storytelling. Okay? And then we go into the story. And then you come out of the story and you'll give your points. But so far, so good, okay?
The story about my mother?
Yes.
Okay.
So it's all a setup to your story. Because speaking isn't really, it's about storytelling, but it's you got to get people into it, you know.
Yeah, no, the story, it cannot be, I cannot tell the whole book, of course. It has to be several incidents from the story.
Yes. And then, okay, so plug those in. That's your job for this week. Just throw that in. And then we'll tell a piece of the story, okay? Now let me just tell you something about storytelling. I have to give a gig on Tuesday, brand new speech I'm giving. I was all freaked out about it until I realized something. And give me, and I'll give you, this is all in here, but just give me 1 second. Let me just, okay. I need a blank sheet of paper here. How do I do this? Okay. Okay, so. Okay, so I have to do a speech. So I do the same thing you guys do. What's my core promise? What am I going to teach them? And I go, oh, God, I got to do a whole new hour speech. Well, here's what you do. You go point. What is your point? Story. Repeat of point and call to action. Okay, so every story has a point. So this is what I did, because you should never work alone. So let me just go to, and I'll show you the points to my story, and maybe this will help you guys with, because the points are more important than the story. So I went and had my friend Laura listen to my stories and help me with what are my points? What are my points to my story? Because it's hard to do by yourself, right? So her points were, she wrote them. If you keep doing the same things, you should expect the same results. This is a story about purpose not being a decision, such as as much as a journey. Okay. So it's a speech about finding your purpose. So that's like, here's my story. And then at the end of the story, I say, so what are you willing to do different? So call to action is always done in terms of a question. All right. And here's, realize your experience, handicap, difficulties in life are not something to forget. They are to embrace with gratitude. You are not your job, your bank account, your parental status. Okay. That's a point. Your purpose is not what you do, it's how you do it and how you do it today. And then this is the story. And then I come out of it going like, how did you do what you did today? Did you do, anyway, goes like that. Okay. So there's that. Matter of fact, I'm going to print that out. Okay. So, all right. So Victoria, I think you've got your, work cut out in front of you, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Thank you.
Oh, my pleasure. So anybody before I go to John have any questions about how we do that? Like we have a point, then we tell a story, and then we have a call to action. Does anybody have any comments or anything about that, or how that works?
Yes, Judy, when you say you have a point, is this sort of sort of an idiom kind of thing, like no one dies alone kind of thing, and then you tell your story?
It's really how you present your action steps.
Okay.
So, like, let's just say one of your points was, we'll go back to with your old speech about, as women, we are always made aware of our weaknesses and not our strengths. In order to be successful in life, you really have to focus on and present your strengths. And so often we're presenting our weaknesses. I mean, there I am at the da-da-da-da-da-da-da, and this guy comes up to me and blah, 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 right?
Mm-hmm.
Like I'll tell you the story I'm starting my speech off with, which is, about it's hard to feel relevant when you're older, it's hard. I mean, I'm outside of a movie and there's a guy going, free movie tickets, take a survey, get free movie tickets, hey, you want to do a little survey free? And people are passing by and everybody's going, no, I don't have time. And I feel sorry for the guy and I'm there a little early. So I say, hey, I have some time. I'll take your survey. I'd like some free movie tickets. And he looks me up and down. I'm going, oh, okay. I hold my stomach in a little bit, right? Thank God I'm not wearing not your daughter's jeans. And I'm going, okay. And then he says to me, sorry, you're not in my demographics. And he turns his back on me and I'm like, he would prefer to not talk to anyone than talk to me. Apparently, I've moved demographics. I have moved to a place where my opinion does not matter. This is not a good move. This is a move like moving from New York City to Fresno. Nobody gives a shit about you. And it's like, when did this happen? Do you know? I mean, and then I tell some more stories, and it sets up my whole speech, and then after that, I can ask the audience a question. It's like, has anyone noticed that after 60, you are invisible? I mean, people don't see you. We should all rob a bank. The teller would go, what did the robber look like? I don't know. Old. Was a man, a woman? What? Oh, I don't know. It's just old, right? And so we want to tell a story for the purpose of making a point about what you're talking about. Does that make sense? So we set it up and we tell the story, and the story is not told because it's funny. It's not told because I have to tell the story and I want to talk about myself. The story is told to set up what you're talking about, And the setup of this story goes, so I felt like, what is my purpose in life? If I'm invisible, what is my purpose in life? Have I lost it? And that's when I went on a journey to find it,
Okay.
Yeah, so that's what a story is always used for in a speech, is to illustrate a point. Okay, and now John. Hey, John, how are you?
I'm doing well, thank you.
Good. So did you join? I got that message from you. Join Help a Reporter.
Yeah.
Yeah. Have you gotten anything from that?
I've not gotten anything so far. I've been watching the inquiries, but nothing has come in through about the 737MX yet. But I'm watching it daily.
Okay. Have you submitted yourself as or written a blog about the Boeing episode?
I've not yet written a blog. I have to get into doing that. I think I will.
A short blog, an opinion piece. What is your opinion about? I just saw something across my news feed about it. Let's see, what was it today? Just something came across. Oh, horrible stuff. It was on CNN, I think. About that the crash that happened was the exact same. The pilots had the exact same problem as the Lion crash. Did you hear
I think that's true. Yeah.
And apparently it looks like the government is protecting Boeing from consequences. I
wouldn't say the government is protecting him so much.
Well, what's your opinion about it? Any of this?
Boeing has done very well at preventing foreign crashes from being litigated in the U.S. They have what they call foreign nonconvenience, they say. This crash happened in Indonesia. all the evidence, all the witnesses are in Indonesia. So U.S. courts should dismiss the case, let them refile in Indonesia, where damage claims, of course, are a fraction of what they are in the U.S. And the courts have been pretty consistent letting them do it. I've been on cases where they've gotten that result. Now, if it's a U.S. plaintiff, they have a different rule. They will generally let them file in the U.S., but when they're foreign nationals, they're basically saying, no, go home and file your suit there.
Okay, and what's your opinion about this?
Well, my opinion is that's just the way it is. But I think the U.S. plaintiffs are probably going to get some money out of them. But ultimately, I think the cases are going to get settled. I don't think Boeing wants this one to go to trial anywhere.
Because?
The interesting thing is, too, that when they sell these airplanes, they have a clause in there that they release Boeing from liability even if Boeing was negligent. But I wonder what's going to happen when somebody comes back and says that doesn't apply if they were grossly negligent, because then the hold harmless clause may not apply.
Interesting. Well, have you, I think you need a back, okay. I like you just, why don't you just put on, like, right now you're not looking right into the camera. What if you looked right into the camera?
Is that right? That better?
No, you're looking off to your left side. Look right into the camera.
Well, I think I'm looking right into the camera. How about now?
There you go. Now, almost. Turn your head a little to the...
About like that?
No, the other way.
This way.
Yeah, that's it. Now you're looking right at the camera.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Tilt down, tilt it down a little bit. The camera.
How's that?
Yeah, even a little more. Not too much headroom. Yeah. I want to feel like, because you see, like, okay, great. Now, the background, you're a real white guy. You got white hair, you're white skin, and a white background. Is there any way you could have, like, a better background?
I could put an airplane picture behind me.
Oh, yeah, something. But do you see how the picture is, like, cutting through your head?
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah.
Like if you turn the whole thing to the right or the left, does that work? Like your whole computer?
Yeah.
Let's see.
Like that?
Yeah, but then you got that shutter on that other side.
Right.
Turn it the other way. What's up? No, then you got something else there. Yeah, you need if the picture was a better balance of a picture, it would be great. Like I want it to look more professional. Okay.
Take the picture off.
Yeah, take the picture off. Yeah, what does it look like with the picture off?
Want me to take it off? I can do that.
Yeah. Take the picture off.
Yeah, much better.
Yeah, much better. That looks good. That looks good. Okay, great. Now, you're still looking a little to the side. There, a little. I don't know why you can't. Like, do you see it? Am I looking right at the camera right now?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Okay, but you need to look right at the camera.
I think I am.
There you go. Now you are.
All
okay.
right.
That's it. Okay. Now this is what I want. We'll record this and I can send it to you. And I want you to just introduce yourself and say, I'm John Morris. I'm da-da-da, what you do.
Right.
And here's my opinion of what is going on with the Boeing thing. And let's just talk for 2 minutes about it, just kind of what you said, the various aspects of it. And you go, and then, hi, and I would do it like this. I'm John Morris. I'm a former blah, 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 for the da-da-da-da-da. I'm available to speak as an expert on the Boeing, on any aircraft, especially the Boeing. Right now, what's going on with it, blah, 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 blah. And this is going to be your video for that. Okay? All right. Okay, go.
All right. I'm John Morris. For the last 40 years, I've been an attorney defending airplane crash cases. Before becoming an attorney, I was an airspace engineer, graduate of Princeton University. I hold an airline transport pilot certificate, and I've been a charter pilot and a corporate pilot before becoming an attorney. I've been following the saga of the Boeing 737 MX, and both as a pilot and as an attorney, I've been a little bit horrified about what's going on. Boeing, for a long time, has had the reputation of being a pilot's plane because when you move the control column, you tell the control what to do. Whereas in the Airbus airplanes, when you move the controls, you tell the computer what you want it to do, and the computer decides whether it will let you do that. And it's a common phrase I've heard among airline pilots: if it ain't Boeing, I ain't going. Now, for the first time, Boeing has introduced a system on the 737 MX, which provides an input that the pilot does not call for, and in many cases does not want. In the Boeing 737 MX, because of the placement of the engine, when the airplane goes to a high angle of attack, in other words, the angle between the airflow and the airframe, the engines tend to make the airplane pitch up, and it could get into a stall where you lose lift. Now, Boeing has provided a system called the MCAS, the maneuvering. Basically, it's a system that says if you have a high angle of attack, it will provide nose down trim. It will involuntarily push the nose down even against the pilot's will. And the problem here is that if the system malfunctions, it can put in nose down trim, and it can be beyond the pilot's ability to control it. It's like having a gorilla putting in a complaint in a control input, and the pilot's trying to fight it, but they didn't tell the pilots that they had put this system in there until after they started having problems. Now, normally when a pilot has a problem with the autopilot, there's a button on the control switch, you push it, you now have manual control again. This MCAS system does not do that. You still have MCAS even when you push that button. To disable this, you have to reach down to the center of the column, below the pilot's field of view, hit the automatic trim switches. Now you have to control the trim manually to get control of the airplane. Again, the pilots were not properly told about this, and it's not fair to expect a pilot, when he's a couple of 100 feet off the ground, to be fighting this gorilla, not knowing what the problem is. There have reportedly been 2 instances in the US where the pilots had this problem, but they were able to control it by turning off the control switches. And in fact, the day before the Indonesia crash, they had a pilot in the jump seat who recognized what was going on and controlled it on the very same airplane the day before the crash, but it was not widely disseminated. Now, in my view, of course, we know that the airplanes have been grounded worldwide till they fix the problem. The problem will be fixed, and the pilots will get more training on how to deal with this. And part of the problem is, I'm told that Boeing did not want to have to provide the extra training. It would have cost them more money, cost the airlines more money, but now they're going to be doing it anyway. But the question now is, what's going to happen? Well, legally, because these accidents happened overseas, Boeing has been very successful in avoiding lawsuits in the US with foreign nationals on foreign crashes. It's a doctrine of what they call forum nonconvenience or inconvenient forum. They've been successful in convincing the courts that because these crashes happen overseas, all the evidence is overseas, these victims are overseas, they should not be coming into the US courts. They should be having these lawsuits in their own country. And except for the US citizens on board, I think they're probably going to be successful doing that. The next question is going to be, what about the airlines that want compensation for the loss of use of their airplanes while they've been grounded? In the Boeing purchase agreement, there's a provision that they waive all claims for liability even if Boeing was negligent. And the courts will generally enforce that. However, there's an exemption if they were grossly negligent or worse. The court might not enforce that. It'll be interesting to see whether any lawsuits are filed to try to get loss of use damages from Boeing. My opinion is that Boeing will very quietly work with their customers to give them some compensation, either reduced price on other airplanes or maybe some compensation. But I suspect that you won't see any reported lawsuits arising out of this.
Okay. Okay, good. I will send you the video of this. I think it has to, I think what you need to do, John, is this. I think you need to redo this yourself.
Sure.
And you'll watch it back. It needs to, in other words, this is for non, if you, let's say we're submitting to the APA Wire or CNN, and you're going to submit this, it needs to be your opinions up front, and your opinions articulated in the way that it says in the videos on Margot Black's video. She has very specific ways of how to approach the media.
Okay.
So you need to, and email me this. I'll look at this because I think we need to hit why it's hot. And I think you need to do like, people are saying da-da-da-da-da. Mm-hmm. My opinion is that will not happen, and here is why. Okay. So each one you go, hi, I'm blah, 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 Princeton, I'm an expert who speaks, speaking. I'm an expert speaking on the media, or maybe we can put that underneath you, but you need to phrase it in a way that is a little more sexy, spicy, sure. Right? You know what I'm saying? But watch this video back, and then we could put. Do you have any video skills or know any kids?
Well, my kids are out of the house for the most part.
All right. Well, we need to throw a lower third onto your video that says, John Morris, aviation expert,
okay,
available as an expert to speak, contact information, just to throw it on the lower third.
Okay.
And keep that running under you, aviation expert available to, comment on this. And I think you're going to get some hits on it, but I think it has to be really short.
I agree.
This was long, but watch yourself back. Do you know what I mean?
Yep.
Watch yourself back and look at it, and again, start with your point. Mm-hmm. And the point has to be and please watch those two videos, How to Make the Media Love You, the ones with Margot Black and session 4, and then you record this just the way you're recording it. Background works without that picture in it. Bam, bam. Need to clear your voice. Voice needs to be a little more, you're coughing a little bit. So you need to be a little more look right at the camera when you do it, and sit up straight and at the camera, and don't go into school teacher. Do you know what I mean? Like telling them that a little too long and technical. Watch it. Send me the video. I'll give you a comment. We'll do it back and forth a couple times.
Okay.
And if you want to tell me what you want in the lower third, I'll take a moment and throw that on for you, and and bring back. And then let's send that to. I think this should be your project now. Let's put it on the internet. Let's put on Twitter, and then you put the hashtags of all the people you want to watch it. CNN, and let's just get yourself on the internet as an expert.
Okay.
And you need to call yourself an expert. You need to say, hi, I'm John Jam. I'm expert. I'm from Princeton University. It sounded really good at the beginning. We were all going like, oh shit, he's a big shot. and sounds really good. It sounds just really good. And just be forceful with your voice.
Okay.
You know what I mean? Like a gargle or something. It's a little hoarseness in it, right?
Right.
So, Don't eat any cheese before you do it. But I think if you get the beginning really compelling, because you want to do a contrary thing, you know, people are saying that Boeing's going to lose their mind, but in my opinion, it's never going to go to trial. Oh, why? It'll never go to trial, and people will not make any, you know, and you know what I'm saying?
Yes,
and then
I do.
tell why. So you want to have a very strong contrary opinion up front that'll go, oh, okay, that's what you need. Don't get into all the technical stuff.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
Yes, it does.
Okay, great. All right. And then I know you gave me some stuff here. Let me just look at it.
Yeah, basically, I want help with the.
Is this it?
Yes, that's it. I was working on the title.
Oh, good. Reducing risk and averting disaster. I'm not clear what this speech is about. You know,
okay, that's why I'm working on the title.
Averting risk and reducing risk and averting disasters in life, in business.
Yeah, that's true. Okay.
What? I mean, what did it as in relationships and, you know?
Well, actually, it applies anywhere. Relationships, work, you name it.
Yeah, so I would make it shorter.
Okay.
Averting disasters is nice. Diverting disasters in life, in something, right? In business and leadership. Or you can put leadership lessons learned from aircraft crashes, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, something like that, but something more specific. Okay.
Well, I'm just wondering whether it really needs to be leadership. I mean,
I don't know. Or
an
lesson.
employee can think that everything's okay and just let it drift, and then find it come crashing down on them because they didn't pay attention.
Yeah, is this business or life or diverting? You can go rather diverting disaster. I would put here life, or you know, you choose one, whatever it's focused lessons. Yeah. You know, time to share some lessons learned from I think business series of airplane crashes by way of background. I've been, you know, turning practice. I'm sure that basically, if the machine has wings, I can do the kind that has one wing. I can do the loss of turning. I was trained. Well, this needs to be what is the audience's problem,
Right.
/ your solution, right?
Right.
So it's a lot about you and very little about the audience.
I know. I took out all the stuff about the audience. I was trying to focus on the title.
Yes, I like the title. It's great. So anyway, let's rework this. But I think right now you should put this aside, and I think maybe on your video you could put, you know, you could have in your intro, I'm Doug Bennett, I'm airline expert and a speaker on diverting disasters. So you can throw that in your intro, put it out there, right?
Okay.
Because you're getting this video out on, but it's to the media, okay? So you have a couple things you have to do, and I'm just gonna tell you that, and that is, you know, again, watch the Margot Rose. Give me the beginning line there, okay?
Okay.
All right, okay.
And I find this blog where in video 4?
Yeah, yeah. Do you need me to show you? I could show you.
I'll find it.
Yeah, it's pretty easy to find. Okay.
I'm not computer literate anyway.
Okay. All right, great. And now, hey, Ed, how you doing? Ed Babcock, his chair, ladies and gentlemen. Ed Babcock's chair. Okay. Ed, you there? Hey, Ed. I think I've lost him or something. Okay, Ed. Ed.
There you go.
There you go. How you doing, Ed? What's going on?
Good. Hey, it's a wonderfully windy day here in New Hampshire.
Ah, New Hampshire. All right.
Hey, I had a question. You had talked to us about going on Haro, and
Yes.
I did that. I went on and I signed up.
Yes.
I just did it earlier today, so I know they are going to send me some things about some educational things about what to look for, etc. But I'm wondering, is there a way or some samples of the
Pitch.
clips that people are submitting?
Yeah. Well, I know you came on late because that's exactly what we're talking about with John.
Oh, I
And
apologize.
So, oh, no worries, no worries. But while we're here, I could just let's see. Let me just 1 second. I could just share with you. You all have to look at this course here. Just give me 1 second. I'll pull it up and then share. Okay, so if you can see my desktop here, we're going to be going to the courses here. And there's 2 courses that I think are just genius. And if you work these formulas, it's Module 4, Message-Based Marketing. And it is lessons 6 and 7, how to pitch yourself to the media. And here, so if I go continue course over here, and then I go 6, how to make the media love you. You can look at this. This is a 21-minute video that has some great tips here on how to do that. And then video 7, how to pitch yourself, is like brilliant. It's just really good. And if you follow the exercise here, she has 4 methods of pitching yourself, how to come up with that snappy, sentence, like a 1-sentence pitch. That is, she's so good at it. So especially watch video 7, but video 6, because, as Annabelle would tell you, who's an expert on business language, there are words that turn people off, and then there are words and pitches that was like, what? So it's like you need a snappy turn of phrase, okay? And you need to know how to write it. And when you can talk in snappy phrases, the media will eat you up.
Okay.
And very often it's saying something that is a bit shocking, okay? Like, or contrary. Like the example, like here's an example. Everybody believes an apple a day keeps the doctor away, but I'm going to show you that apples can kill you. Stay tuned. What? Right?
Okay.
I didn't mean to scream at everybody here, but that's the way you've got to pitch to the media. You got to talk their language, and their language is one of, shock, fear, what? Or like, yeah, everybody thinks Boeing's going to go down. Well, guess what? It'll never come to trial. I'm John Morris, an expert in aviation, a former litigator for airline crashes, investigator. Now I speak on averting disasters. And here's why. Okay, whoa, I'm interested. So give your snappy intro and then do a video, and then do a short video for each one. So Ed, since you're on there, one thing is to submit yourself to the media through Haro. The other one is to put yourself on the internet as with the hashtag Boeing expert or whatever you're trying to get, and put yourself out there as that.
Right.
And start putting do a vlog, a video blog. And I think it's good to, just do a video blog on stuff like that. Okay.
Okay.
I'm not all up to date on video blogs or what platforms you use or whatever, but
Well, I can find out.
you can just put it on social media, and on Twitter. You can find all the hashtags that people are using. So does everybody know what a hashtag is? Yeah?
I know it's part of Twitter. Twitter account. I don't.
You can see Twitter will show you, like if I go to my phone here, and you go to Twitter. Wait a second. When you go to Twitter, I'll show you in a second. And let's say I want to do something about Boeing. I go search Twitter, and I go hashtag Boeing. Okay, so then, okay, if you can see that, can you guys, okay, can you guys see that?
Yeah.
Kind of.
Okay, so it shows you 180 tweets today, and how, what is the exact wordage of the hashtag? Can you guys see that?
Yep.
Okay, so it shows you how many people have looked at this kind of hashtag. And then you can put up your video there with, you know, your thing, the way you phrase it, that you're going to learn from Margot Black on video 6 and 7. All right?
Okay. Yep.
All right. Well, you're all coming along. You're all doing great. You're all engaged. I'm honored to have you all here. We had some corrections. Now, you know that if you're in the enhanced program, the year program, you get a 30-minute video with 30-minute private with me. And Annabelle, if you just shoot me an email, I'll send you a scheduling thing. And I think it's good to have at the beginning work out what your message is. Okay? You know what I mean? So we don't spend a lot of time on something that isn't going to get you work, but really focus on something based on your credentials. John, you're doing great. Victoria, you're doing fantastic. Ed, send me some homework. But Ed's got a application deadline April 15th for Spokane. And we talked about you finding a problem that people have and finding what your idea was sharing where. And Ed, if you watch this video of me working with John today, you know, about doing a 1-minute video, I'd like to see that. You know, I like to see a video of what your expertise is, putting your name in the corner, your expertise, you know, like your little credential there, expert on this topic, call me, you know, and contact information always across the bottom. Okay? Any final questions?
Yeah, when is the recording going to be on, and when is the next Judy's Jam?
I'll send you an email. It's every 2 weeks, but you can always go to the website and see under webinar schedule.
And Ed Babcock, I lost your email address. Can you email me?
Yeah, I'll
again?
send it to you. Yep.
All right.
Is that in the chat or?
Email me. And
okay.
yeah, stick it in the chat. All right. And
Okay.
I got to go. I have a meeting at 1, you guys. Okay.
Thank you, Judy.
Yeah, my pleasure, everybody. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.